to Phone a Friend News with the Ambassadors of Gaming. I am one of your two hosts, Ambassador Chris.
I'm Ambassador Michael.
And I know this is something different, but I just had a random thought. I was like, you know what? I've had a long, tense week, with working and preparing for school. So I just felt like playing some Minecraft. So I figured Mike was like, hey, you ready to record the news? I was like, you know what? I'm going to record right here.
I'm gonna play some Minecraft.
I
And
am
talk
going to play
about the
some Minecraft.
news.
It's so calming.
It is. It is indeed. So I'm gonna start with first of all, I have a lot of release date news this week. So like half of the news is actually all of the news basically is Nintendo, and then there's like some release date stuff. That's basically all we got. But so we're gonna go with the biggest Nintendo. All of these are huge. The first one is the Mini NES.
The Mini
You
NES.
saw the Mini
I'm
NES.
so excited for that.
The Mini NES, everyone has probably already heard about right now. Let me put it this way, all right? It has gotten to the point, right, where I was looking up for articles for this, right? And I use Flipboard. So I just click on whatever article I see first that contains the information I want, right? And then I just open it in another tab. The source I got this article from was Maxim. No joke. Like, it is literally everywhere. Like, everyone knows. Like, it is ridiculous. Anyways, so the Mini NES comes with 30 games pre-installed. You can't upgrade it. You can't add more games. You can't take games off. That's it. The 30 games that comes on it, that's the 30 games that come on it. Now, granted, there's a lot of good games on there. Like, a lot of classic ass shit. Like, Castlevania's on there. Simon's Quest is on there. Bubble Bobble's on there. Super Mario Bros. Uh, Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3. It's like a different version of Mario Bros. And then, what the hell are the other ones?
Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda, yeah. Link's Awakening. Um, there's a lot of third-party stuff on there, which a lot of people were surprised by. They thought we were all just going to get, like, first-party stuff. So, that was cool. That was really interesting. I'm glad they're doing that. That thing is fucking tiny. Like, it fits in your hand.
It fits in your hand, yeah. It's going to be even smaller than people think it is.
And it's only $60 for 30 games and the hardware, which isn't bad. But, like, I mean, if you're one of those people that likes to penny pinch, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm just going to wait for a deal. You can wait, like, 6 months, and this thing will probably go down to, like, $40. Like, if you're going to do it that way. But if you want Nintendo to do more crazy shit like this, I would suggest buying it at launch, because that's when they look at their numbers the most. So
yeah, I have a concern
mm-hmm.
with this, unfortunately. Well, I like to think back to Nintendo's other consoles. Okay, so humor me on this a little bit.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, my metaphor is going to sound really stupid, so I'm just going to come out and say it. I am worried that this is going to be a cheap device.
I mean, it's basically a hard drive. It's basically all it is.
You just lagged something fierce, Mr. Michael.
Sorry. What I was saying is it's basically a hard drive.
Yeah, I am worried, very worried, that for $60, this is going to be something not that good. I hope I'm wrong. I very much hope that I'm wrong.
Well, we'll see. I mean, how could you possibly fuck up something you made in the 80s? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. What a lot of people want, though, is a lot of people that are SNES fans are going to buy this in hopes that Nintendo will come out with a mini SNES in response to
I could see that.
So a lot of people that want SNES, if you want a mini SNES, I would also suggest buying this so that Nintendo will look at it. And then when people come to Nintendo and go, hey, you did the mini NES, we want a mini SNES, then they'll be like, well, you guys bought the shit out of it. All right, we'll make one.
And yeah, if you, I get what you're saying. If you really want something, you gotta meet them halfway, like with that Crash Bandicoot thing we talked about.
Yeah.
You want them to remake other Crash Bandicoot stuff?
You want a new Crash Bandicoot? You buy the remakes.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta buy their remakes first.
money is one of the only language companies speak. All right, so the phrase "vote with your wallet." So if you like it, buy it. If you don't buy it. It's pretty simple. So I got some Pokemon news for you. I know how much you enjoy Pokemon. This is some like super
I've been
nerd
deep in
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
This is some nerdy Pokemon shit. So I know how you enjoy your EV training and things like that.
I do.
Have you seen they're introducing hyper training?
What is hyper training?
I'm glad you asked. So hyper training now is, you know how EV training was specific. If you don't understand EV training, it's you make a Pokemon set moves with set stats so that they perform a specific function on your team. It's very like hardcore RPG. Like you set your Pokemon up to do a certain thing, and that's pretty much all that Pokemon's gonna do. And then you build your whole team like that. You build the team around itself. But what they're doing now, for a little more simplistic way, is once your Pokemon reaches level 100, you will be able to go to a new character called Mr. Hyper and give him bottle caps that you find like in game or something. Like they didn't clarify how you get these bottle caps, but you give.
Let
them
me guess. Can
to
I
him.
take a guess where this is going?
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with IVs?
IV. Yeah, it's basically IV and EV training, like the values.
Well, they're two very different things. That's why I ask.
I put it as simplified EV training. It didn't. What it says is once you reach level 100 and you use the bottle caps with Mr. Hyper, it increases all of the stats of the Pokemon to the maximum that they could be. So it sounds like it would be IV train. It would be the initial values would be as high as they could possibly be in every category, and then they would be EV trained to the highest possible of every category. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I doubt. All right, most likely because there's a reason that EV training exists. For those of you that don't know about Pokemon, the difference between IVs and EVs, IVs are individual values, and they're set in stone when a Pokemon is bred. Think of them as like genetics.
Yeah.
That like you breed high level EV Pokemon to hope that you can get a Pokemon with all perfect IVs or every single one of them at 31. That's like the most perfect a Pokemon can be.
Yeah.
And then you have EVs or effort values, and what those are essentially for every Pokemon you beat, they release an EV, which I already told you what that is. So let's say I wanted to boost my attack stat by 30 points. 1 point is one stat point is 3 EVs. So if I wanted to raise it up 30 points, I'd have to knock out 90 Machops that drop one attack EV. That drop an attack EV per Machop. So the way this sounds to me is it won't increase your EVs to maximum, because then that would just be broken, because only 2 EV stats, you only have a total of 256 EVs to spread out and choose which stats. Most people choose 2 stats to invest in. Yeah, that would sound a little broken, but I can definitely see IVs, eliminate all that breeding, because breeding the perfect Pokemon is not easy.
I think it is. I think it is the IVs. It makes them maxed. But then you would still be able to, I guess, use the EVs. Because that's just all it says. It's so fucking vague. It just says it increases all stats to max on a level 100 Pokemon. But it has to be level 100. And you have to use bottle caps. So you can still do it the old-fashioned way if you want, but this is like to get your team faster thing.
Just like in 6th Gen, they came out with Super Training, which essentially simplified EV training.
Yeah. So there was that. And then we haven't really talked about Pokemon Go much because, like, the 1 week it was just fucking madness. Like, the week it came out was just Pokemon fucking Go everywhere. Like, I couldn't even find like anything other than Pokemon Go that week. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we haven't really covered it that much. So, but since Pokemon Go's release, have you seen the financial benefits Nintendo has reaped from this?
Probably a lot, but no, I don't know the exact figure.
Okay, so their market value, like on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, is was at the time the article was written $42.5 billion. That's how much Nintendo was worth at the time. And
Okay.
then they broke the
I take it you're
single
going to shock me with something else.
and then they broke the single day trading record in the 21st century in Tokyo with $4.5 billion worth of stock trading in one day.
Christ.
Hold on one second here. I want to get the there's actually where is it? I want to find there was yeah, here it is. Game stuff, core profits from no. There was information for no. I like leaving one for now. I don't think Nintendo's actually released the profit numbers. What there was a number, but people were throwing it out. Pokemon Go added $7.5 billion to their market value, but that's not how much money they made. I also read somewhere that they made like a couple $1 million already, but that's again just hearsay. I don't have a sales figure in front of me, so I can't tell you. I'm trying to find it, but I cannot.
I am really proud of the Pokemon community. Um, when Pokemon Go was released, there were a lot of people that weren't happy just because, it wasn't. It's not the Pokemon games we know.
Hmm.
Like people were hoping for. People were hoping for something that they played like on the DES or on the
Mm-hmm.
whatever they are on the Game Boys or whatever. But once they kind of got over that, once the dust settled and
Mm-hmm.
everyone actually started going around and playing the game, like people weren't all that dicky about it. Like people were
No,
just happy to play it, and I think it's fun. I think it's really fun.
but the people outside the Pokemon community are fucking cockbags. Have you met any of those people
Why
yet?
are they that?
They're like, oh, you know
No.
what you should probably do instead of catching Pokemon is get a fucking job. It's like, yo, bitch, I do have a job. Most of the people that play this game have a fucking job. Like, we just like to do it. Fuck you. Like, why you gotta be a fucking dick about it? Like, it's none of your business what I do.
All right.
What do you care? Are you fucking rich? No, you're not, and you're not playing Pokemon, so you can go fuck yourself. For all I care. Like, how are you gonna sit here and talk shit about how I'm not making any better moves for my life, and you're over there fucking jerking off with a $2 bill? Like, you don't have it. You're not rich. Fuck off, dude.
Why a $2 bill, Michael?
Well, because $2 bills are quite uncommon.
Okay, I'll give you that.
How
I
often do
work
you
in
see a two
tips, but
dollar
I've
bill?
gotten tipped quite often actually. I get tipped them a lot at my job.
Well, yeah, but
People somehow get this funny idea that them tipping me a $2 bill will make me overlook the fact that they only tip me $2. Like,
because two
but
dollar
I
bills
don't.
aren't worth anything more than $2. Like
Yeah,
they're not like
people like to pretend
special
like
like
there's some
that.
sort of super rarity, but they.
See, but if they were to
Uh,
give you Sacagawea coins, would you be upset? The Sacagawea dollar coins?
if you actually get a Sacagawea dollar coins, those aren't common.
Yeah,
Like you
those are worth
see, I mean,
money.
they're not really, not yet.
I'm talking about the older ones.
I mean,
Like, because they only released so many of them. I'm not talking about the new dollar coins that have Sacagawea and shit on them. I'm talking about the older ones. Because they had older ones and they're worth a lot of money now because they had gold and shit in them. Like there was a decent amount.
Well, no, Michael.
Anyways,
I'm
enough
not aware.
about Sacagawea. She's not relevant to this conversation. We're done with Sacagawea. So now we're gonna move on to the fun fucking release date shit. So Rise of the Tomb Raider finally has a release date for PS4. It is indeed coming to PS4, but it's very similar to how what the hell was the last one? This one's Rise of the Tomb Raider. What was the first one called? It wasn't called Tomb Raider. It was called something Tomb Raider too. I forget what it was called. Then they came out with the definitive edition. Anyways, this one's basically the same thing. It comes out with it's a 20-year anniversary edition because Lara Croft has now been a character for 20 years. So, congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
Indeed. It will come out on October 11th. It will include all the DLC. It will include a new single-player campaign mission called Blood Ties, which relates to Lara Croft and her manor, and the way she inherited her money and things like that from her father. Interesting news about that, too, is that it is also playable in PlayStation VR. It's a weird choice, especially for a third-person action game, so I'm assuming that section's going to be slow as fuck and you're just going to be walking around and shit. Finding clues and shit would be my guess. In that segment, I guess, this is going to sound so stupid because it's like something they spoiled that I don't think they should have. Apparently in this new DLC, Laura's going to have a nightmare. And in said nightmare, she's going to have to fight off a bunch of zombies from taking over the manor. And that is that's also a new mode. It's like a zombie mode. It's called Zombie Nightmare Mode, to be specific. And then they've added co-op to their endurance mode, which I don't really remember what it is because I never fucked with it. I just wanted to play the story. So that's cool. And then they added a new difficulty called Extreme Survivor. That game can be fucking hard sometimes. Like, you take a lot of damage if you're not careful. It's like Uncharted. Which actually is funny because one of Uncharted's lead writers or whatever, Neil Druckmann, he tweeted out a picture of the Tomb Raider 20th Anniversary Edition. Looks very similar to the Nathan Drake collection on the PS4. It's a silhouette of Nathan Drake, and then it has like sand blowing, and Lara Croft, and the 20th anniversary is Lara Croft with like blue for like ice and her silhouette. And he was like making a joke about it. And he goes, I can't wait. He's like, but for real, I'm excited to like play Rise on my PS4. And it was just funny because like I was scrolling through the comments and people were like, oh, bet he's calling out Tomb Raider. I'm like, you do realize what Uncharted is, right? It's just a knockoff of Tomb Raider. Like, that's where they got it from. And they just have gone back and forth the last 3 years of like making each other come up with better ideas and shit. So I just thought it was funny to add that in. Gravity Rush 2 is got its release date for Europe and the United States. That comes out November 30th in Europe, and then it comes out here in the States on December 2nd. So that's cool. That game looks really fucking awesome, and I'm really excited for it. So I'm pretty stoked. And then I have some news for you. So you better get your GameStop.
Oh, me?
You better get your GameStop card ready.
I'm sorry?
I said,
what? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What?
The Xbox One S has a release date. August 2nd. And it launches for $400 for the 2 terabyte.
400 for 2 terabyte? That's really not bad.
No.
That's fuck.
That's why I said get your credit card ready. And the 1 terabyte and the 500 gigabyte are coming out later. They have not announced the release dates for those yet.
The reality is, I most likely will not get it.
The only reason I would recommend even getting it is if you only own one console and your console is an Xbox One, trade in your Xbox One to get the Xbox One S, pay the $200 difference you're probably gonna pay, or just sell your Xbox. Like just sell your Xbox for like $250, $300. You could probably sell it for $250. So then you're only gonna have to drop like $150, and you get way more space. But that's if you don't want to go buy a hard drive, which is way cheaper. You just go buy a good hard drive and plug it into your Xbox. But if you're like itching for the Xbox One S, I'd recommend doing that. Just don't trade it in at GameStop. They'll fucking gouge you.
The only reason it'd be cool if they offer a trade-in program. I mean, I know they won't, but it'd be cool if they would.
They never do. It's like the issue everyone has with Scorpio and the PlayStation 4 Neo is like they're better consoles, but they're like, so are we gonna get like a bonus like for trade-in or something, and have like a trade-in program? And when you think about it, like every new console generation, doesn't GameStop do like a stupid amount of bonus like on your console for trade-in? They give you like $100 extra or something in trade-in, so it's like they give you like $150 or $200 off your like new console, which isn't terrible, but like a lot of people. I was watching something the other day, and this guy was saying not to sell your hardware. Like it's not a problem if you sell your games because games are usually cheap and you can buy them back and shit, but like not to sell your hardware because you never know when that shit's gonna like be considered rare or whatever, you know. Like like the the first generation of PS3s that has the 4 USB ports on it. That one's considered a rare model now because they didn't make that many of them, and it was. I think it wasn't the only one. There were two models. It was one of the models that played backwards compatible to PS2 games. So, like that's why it's worth so much money now. Like they still like if you go try to buy a bundle, they're like $400 or $500 sometimes, which sucks because they're only like 80 gigs. Like they're small as fuck. Now that was huge at the time, but they're small as fuck now.
With how big games are, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, games on the PS3 aren't even that big. Plus, they're all on disc. They don't download to your hard drive unless you buy them digitally. So, that's it. That's all the news I got.
We don't really have, like I said, we're kind of grasping at straws. Yeah, I mean, there's some good news. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, but just don't expect anything monumental.
Yeah, E3 just happened. Gamescom's. Oh, there was something about Gamescom. Both Sony and Microsoft said they're not doing conferences. They're going to be at Gamescom, but they're not doing conferences there. So we won't hear anything from them until Sony will hear in TGS in September. And then Microsoft probably in Paris Games Week, which is in October, I think. So we got a dry spell for the next 2 months, basically. We're just going to be grasping at little nuggets of information here. Yeah. So that's all we got for now.
That is all we have. But anyway, try and check out the channel at least once a week. We try and do this news at least once a week unless like monumental stuff happens, but you never know. You might like what you find. We're going to get out of here though for the night. My name is Ambassador Chris.
I'm Ambassador Michael.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.